Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to the ATL, once the terminus of the Western and Atlantic Railroad, where the sound of that train horn can still be heard inside the magnificent Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Today we've got an NFC South matchup, as it'll be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Here's the former Illini kicker Chase McLaughlin to get us started. And we are underway from Atlanta. And they were ringing them down a couple yards shy of the 30. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. And they will be led out by their second-year quarterback.
And he went from being the surprise pick of the first round to the full-time starter late in the season, and now he has a chance to take this team to new heights starting in 2025. Really was impressed with him down the stretch, going head-to-head with Jaden Daniels in a huge game. Now, he could be their franchise quarterback for the next 10 years.
First carry of the game now for the Texas superstar, Bijan Robinson. And boy, showing how tough he can be to bring down, just fighting his way forward to pick up 7 yards.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play call to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early, because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's 2nd and 2. Again, it's Robinson. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for first.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
A play fake. Now Penix. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 13 and a first down for Atlanta.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Out of the gun, they give to Robinson. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
They just do get the play off as he'll look to throw. Fighting through it, he's got space. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 14 yards there on a Falcon first down.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
They'll go play action here with Penix. This one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earn a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
Here's 2nd and 10. In motion, the tight end. Operating from the gun, Penix. Short throw caught by Pitts. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play, because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. To throw again is Penix. He'll try to pick it up himself, and he can't get 4. It brings up 4th down now.
But it's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. So out now comes the field goal unit for the Falcons. This will be spotted at the 37, so it's a 47-yard attempt. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And the Falcons are out to a 3-0 advantage. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was open for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They'll be led out by the number 1 overall pick in the 2018 draft, the Oklahoma Sooner, Baker Mayfield.
And what a career resurgence for Baker Mayfield. He went from being a discarded starter to a Pro Bowl quarterback, and he's coming off a year where he set career highs in passing yards, touchdowns, and completion percentage. But best of all, the ultimate leader for his ball club.
Mayfield looks to throw. Looking middle, and he's got a Buka. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Mayfield now. The pass is caught by Cade Otton. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. 27 yards there, a first down.
A gain of 27 on the play. First down, Tampa Bay.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run, because we envision them in offenses catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. Left side here then. Oh, he's hit. He lost the football. Put it on the carpet. And the Falcons grab it. And his crew will take over with the football at the 35-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
So for the second time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. To start it out, Robinson. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
First and 10 at the 50-yard line.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Back to Robinson now on first down. Oh, what a move. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 59 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start.
First down. First and 10 at the 18-yard line.
I don't care what the game plan was coming in.
after these runs,
You're running it, right?
you make sure you keep circling on your play sheet, running plays that are working, and keep patting those big offensive linemen on the back. They're doing a great job.
Goes without saying, the defense is going to have to adjust to it.
In a big way, and they've got to figure out, do they have to sell out to stop the run, or can they just do it better than what they've done so far? I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
2nd and 10. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. And looking to throw, Penix. And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. And his kick is indeed good. And that will make it 6-0. So the defense are able to force their first turnover of the game, and then they add on to that by getting the field goal.
And you don't just want to take the ball away from your opponent, partner. You want to make them hurt as well. And if you don't score yourself on defense, turn it over to your offense and have them put points on the board.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. Tampa Bay, they're getting ready to set up shop here for their second drive. But right now, they're on the wrong end of the scoreboard, and that won't change if this drive ends like the last one when they had that lost fumble. So you have a feeling taking care of the football certainly paramount right now.
Yeah, and it's not just the guy who dropped it on the last drive, is it? That means everyone who might touch the ball is getting the same message. Guys, ball security, paramount. Let's take care of it. And if we do, we've got a chance to put points on the board.
They'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Here's Mayfield. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
Yeah, he's just trying to throw this ball into the hole in the zone, but those windows can open and close quickly, especially in the middle of the field. So if the timing's not right, we'll see interceptions like that one right there.
Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Yaya Diaby got in there behind the line and dropped him for a loss on the play.
That was well defense right there. He saw the play in front of him and able to hold the point of attack. Then he sheds it and goes and makes a tackle for a loss.
So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. Play fake, and they'll throw with Penix. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Well, this offense has already been forced to settle for field goals on their drives earlier, so this is not a welcome sign here.
Indeed, it is not, and they certainly hope it's not a sign for the entire game because they know they've got to be able to sustain drives all the way through. Pick up those guys rushing the quarterback and give himself a chance.
We'll see where they go for this play call. Obviously tough in this spot, backed up. To the sideline and incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing fourth down.
On fourth down, Bradley Pinion on to punt for the Falcons. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Buccaneers offense ready to rock and roll again. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. Now Mayfield and the Bucs come up on 1st and 10 at their own 23. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
That's a nice catch there. Remember, he had the fumble earlier. No way he was giving up the ball in that situation. Secured it tight to his body and picks up the first down.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing, Mayfield. Looking for Godwin again, and he's got him once more. 2 yards on the pickup there. And it's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 36-yard line.
They go play action. Mayfield. And that's going to be incomplete.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Godwin, the motion man. And again, it's Mayfield. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
A gain of 12. And the Buccaneer first down.
So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that 3rd down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field. Defensively, make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
Open man is Ibuka. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll bring up a 2nd and short.
Brings up 2nd and a yard at the 43-yard line.
Mayfield with it once more. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Gotta credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have the Bucs first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down, and that's what he just did.
Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Mayfield to throw it. And there's a short one taken in by Otten. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 26. 11 more yards there. This methodical drive continues.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
Now Mayfield. That is caught. It's Chris Godwin. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play.
That's another Buccaneers first down. First and goal at the 6-yard line.
6-0 our score after one. Second quarter now, and it's Buccaneer football as they go to work on a first and goal. Baker going to give it to Irving. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great. Because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
Once again, it's Irving. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
And now third and goal coming up, the loss on second down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder. And they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
Now Mayfield on third and goal. And he pulls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. Emeka Buka, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Bucs are an extra point away from capturing the lead. Well, on that connection, it looked like they maybe had some pre-play communication. Maybe one of them noticed an area that was open in the defense to get the pass to.
When you put the time in, sometimes you have that great silent communication that you just noticed right there, because the best quarterback-receiver combos in the NFL, they know how to make those adjustments at the line of scrimmage when they see something pre-play, and they got it done there.
Chase McLaughlin on for the extra point. He's got it, and they take the lead at 7-6. So that drive spans 13 plays, and it's all finished off with a touchdown by Tampa Bay. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Bijan Robinson and the Falcons back onto the field. And the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively. And oftentimes you might want to just swing your back out of the backfield, get the ball in his hands in open space, and just don't get totally away from running it, because some of these runs now, they may pop bigger as the game goes along.
Yeah, they've been good with a run so far. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
That's the first time he's called his own number, but he's got to be over overjoyed with the results. He wasn't just going to settle for a modest gain. To me, he was determined to come through with a big message to a defense that slept on him in the pocket.
Robinson up the middle. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. 69 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So the 14 yards actually takes him from 143 to the other for 1st and 10. Robinson with another carry. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
Straight ahead, it's Robinson. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
Here's a 2nd and 9 now from the 29. To the air, Penix. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Calling a gain of 6 on the play. And it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
A 3rd field goal of the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on 3rd down. Robinson will try to pick it up. Well, they needed 2. They could only get 1. 4th down.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
So out now comes the field goal unit for the Falcons. On the left hash mark, this a 38-yard attempt. And his kick is right there. It's good. And they jump back in front here. It's 9-7. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. Well, now how about this return? And all the way up just shy of midfield before going out of bounds at the 49. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, that one was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
Now a 2nd and 10. Mayfield. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
This offense so far on 3rd down, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 10. To throw, Mayfield. And this one is incomplete.
Looked like they had an
opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
Fourth down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. The Falcons send Jamal Agnew deep to return. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. The Falcons offense and running back Bijan Robinson set to take over once more. He's been a tough man to stop in this first half. He's putting up some big numbers already, and we have yet to reach halftime. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
On second down, another shot for Robinson. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Third and 5. Here's Penix. He'll try and do this himself. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. A nice pickup there, 10 yards.
Certainly not a positive sign if you're the D coordinator and you see your guys give up that space so early in the game. Third down, that's when the clamps are supposed to come out, but his ability to create things with his legs makes things difficult.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 104 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. Hassan Reddick coming through with a stop there and a tackle for loss to boot.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. That's complete to Mooney. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Penix going to sneak it. And he's going to have a Falcons first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
They pick it up on 3rd and 1 on the quarterback sneak, and that's not easily done because there are extra bodies in there on the defensive side, and they're moving forward at the snap.
Yeah, I was certainly expecting a handoff, weren't you?
Yeah, I totally was. I thought they'd go with a back, maybe try and get a lead blocker in front. But as you talked about in different games, those guys with confidence in their offensive line, they just want to move forward and get it.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
On second down, another shot for Robinson. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
They really had a good drive going there, but a nice recovery by the defense these past few downs, able to knock that one away on 3rd down and bring up what I think for the offense, an unexpected 4th down here.
So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. And well done here. That one will kick out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
On the ground, it's Irving to start the drive. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Out to the flat, that's complete to his running back. And he'll lose yardage on this one, back to the 13. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack, but that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And he is going to have the Buccaneers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
It's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Back to throw now on 1st down. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he gets this up to the 34, out of bounds there. A good 1st down call as the screenplay gets him 9.
And good yardage there on 1st down because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively, or it could have gone for more.
Straight ahead, it's Irving. And this is going to be a Bucs 1st down as he'll get this up to about the 42.
Strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
2 minutes remaining in this 1st half of football. So 2 1st downs, and that moves the ball to the 42 now, 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. Just a gain of a couple there. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. Mayfield now from the 50. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Mayfield looks to throw. Over the middle, he finds Godwin complete. It'll go as a gain of 4. And it'll be 2nd down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Mayfield now. Right back to Chris Godwin. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
1st and goal at the 10-yard line.
So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. Going to the air again with Mayfield. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Here's Mayfield. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. As they come to the line here on 3rd and goal from the 1. Back to throw again. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. Falcons going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Chase McLaughlin now for the field goal try. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. And his kick is good. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
After the made field goal, here's McLaughlin back out there to kick it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Bijan Robinson leading the offense out for another drive. And Charles, you can't really fault him. He's over 100 yards already. He's not the reason they're losing.
And that is really unusual because ordinarily, when you've set the tone this way and have run it this effectively, usually your team's in control. So it's a very strange situation. And you're right, you can't fault him. He's done a great job for his team thus far.
I'm guessing he's saying, feed me on the sidelines. Now will they continue to do it? He's got his pass-catching tight end. That's Pitts. So the completion good for 7 there. And it'll be 2nd down.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
Second down and 3. And looking to throw, Penix. He's going to drop this underneath for Robinson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A good pickup, but it will come on what should be the final play in this first half. So a tight one so far, 1-point game at the break as we check in with Scott Hansen at our halftime report. Scott.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Scott Hansen, good to be with you from the Orlando EA Sports Studios with an abridged halftime report. This one shaping up to be a tight one, as evidenced by the scoreboard. Both these teams playing it close to the vest in the first half. What will happen in the second half? Let's find out as we send it back to the stadium and our commentary team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Scott, thanks a bunch. And we'll see which team's adjustments are going to pay dividends here as we are just about ready for the start of the second half. The Bucs with the lead, and they'll get the football first as the second half is underway. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter. And Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
Well, that's complete to Shepard. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Fresh out of the locker room, they hit him with a gain of over 20.
First down. 24-yard gain on the play. First down is Tampa Bay.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
On 1st and 10, here's Irvin. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Oh, he's got a Buka. That's complete. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 21. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
A run up the middle with Irvin. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line.
Now that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job, and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
In motion left, Godwin. Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Bucky Irving taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Bucs take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. McLaughlin now to add the PAT. And with that, the lead is up to 8. 5 plays there on that drive. And in the end, the finishing touch, an 11-yard run. Touchdown. Here's McLaughlin to kick off. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Here comes the Falcons offense. It's their first possession of the second half now. To put a drive together. They'll get it to Robinson to begin the drive. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Now that's a run that warms a play caller's heart because you're actually set up to do whatever you want on offense. You can come right back and run essentially the same play because you have momentum, or you can fake that running play and throw something deep over the top. Or you now feel like you have an extra down to play with because if you go ahead and just throw it and you don't get it, come back and try and pick it up on third down.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting 1 more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's 3rd down.
Operating from the gun, Penix. That is caught. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Hand off to Robinson out of the shotgun. And he's able to get across midfield and down to the Buccaneer territory. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Well, that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Off play action. Here's Penix. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. No one there to help out downfield, but no problem. Scrambling for 22 and a first.
Gain of 22 yards. And the Falcons, first down. 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Has not been a big game for him throwing the football. I think he feels like, let's try something different. Let's use the legs here and see if we can make some plays.
And no passing touchdowns, yardage not where he would like it. Try something new. It worked there. Rush coming, and he's taken down. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down.
2nd and 18.
We've seen him escape similar situations earlier in the game and get away for pretty good yardage. At that time, they get him down.
Yeah, they've had enough evidence that he can get away and run for good yardage, haven't they? That time it felt like, okay, enough of this. Let's play it the right way and get him on the ground before he does any damage.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Looking to throw, Penix. Here's a screen for Robinson. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. I don't know how well our microphones are picking it up for those of you at home, but Charles, you and I can hear it. A lot of groans right now coming from this crowd.
I don't know if we're picking up what's happening in the stadium or from the people who are supporting this team at home, because it's coming through loud and clear to you and me. This offense, they've been stuck in neutral much of the game, and on that last play, they actually went in reverse. I think this crowd would have liked neutral, don't you?
Yeah, neutral would have strongly been preferred. They'll take anything positive at this point.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And that'll get the lead down to 5. So the response to that touchdown on the other side to begin the 3rd quarter. Look, just 3 points, but still a response nonetheless.
You're exactly right about that, because I think you needed to answer back with something, even though it's not 6. Just enough to send a message that says, hey, we're not going away.
Bradley Pinion.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Now Mayfield and the Bucs come up on 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll try and start this drive in the air. This is Shepard on the catch. He'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 35-yard line.
More muscle up front for this 2nd and 2. They've got 3 tight ends out there. And now Mayfield on the bootleg. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. 10 yards there and a Buccaneer 1st down.
But they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another 1st down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. They go play action. Mayfield. That's complete to its receiver, Godwin. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 47-yard line.
Now a 2nd and 2. A shotgun handoff here to Irving. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down. Keep the sticks moving.
Now Mayfield. He's got his receiver. That's Ibuka. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 25 yards that time.
That's another Buccaneers 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet, as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Mayfield. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Emeka Ibuka. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, as his guys are able to extend their lead. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the third quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is lets you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
McLaughlin for the extra point. And this one gives his guys a 12-point lead. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Bucs. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. Gets past one man. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Falcons offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And you have to imagine this defense saying, how do we stop this guy? He has run roughshod through him to this point in the third quarter. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And tough to win games if you're going field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
Looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Penix working out of the gun here. And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. Deion Jones. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll throw with Penix. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up 4th down.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for them. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
Here's Bradley Pinion now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. The Buccaneers offense and Baker Mayfield set to take over once more. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. To throw, Mayfield. That one out wide and intercepted. Picked up by A.J. Terrell. And the Falcons will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, 3rd quarter, but that not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. Here's Penix. Under pressure, and down he goes. Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him. It has been a rough afternoon for him trying to get rid of the football. See, that's now 5 sacks.
How'd you like to be the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach trying to come up with an answer for this pass rush? What blocking assignments do you change? Can guys play a little bit better? And we're seeing the end result on the scoreboard. Long day in the pocket for their quarterback.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down. Not the start to the drive they were looking for. That run doesn't do much at all.
No, not at all, and it leaves them with 3rd and long, and you know this is the time of game where these drives really start to matter. They've got to make some moves.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. On the Buccaneer, pressure too much. Down he goes. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards. Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number is just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
Here's Bradley Pinion now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. On the return, Johnson. 45 yards, that's what the punt goes for. 5 on the return. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. The Buccaneers offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. The last drive for this offense, Charles, you remember it ended in one play, that quick interception, but they do still have the lead as they start this drive here.
And that's something to focus on for them as well, because it's not quite no harm, no foul. But the interception, hey, shake it off, move on. Hasn't cost your team the lead, and now it's time to rebound. And the quarterback and his teammates, they can add to the lead with a good drive here.
They'll stay on the ground with Irving. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Atlanta. It's the Bucs. They've got the football. They also are in front here on the scoreboard as we start the 4th. They run out of the gun with Irving. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield striker. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Mayfield firing quickly. It's complete. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down.
When you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
His big game continues. 10 catches now and another first down.
First and 10 at the 41-yard line.
He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
A quick throw. Here's Shepard. They'll give him 4 yards there. And that will bring up second down.
4 yards on the pickup. Second and 6 at the Falcons' 37-yard line.
Play action now. Here's Mayfield. And Mayfield again with the interception. His third. And the Falcons are right back in this football game. 2-score game here in the fourth, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. The interception was a great starting point, but now they need points pretty quickly, down 2 scores. Looking to put a drive together. To the air, Penix. This pass is caught by London. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards. It moves the sticks. Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second, it didn't even matter.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now Penix. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. The escapability and evidence there is that one good for 15 and a first.
15 yards. And the Falcons, first down.
He certainly isn't looking at the scoreboard out there because, to me, all he's concerned about is analyzing the field and making most of the time left in this game. Deficit's still there, but he's starting to hit them with some big plays.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. That's thrown underneath to Algier. And he's taken down inside the 30. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
Good yardage on the completion there. And when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
A first carry for Tyler Algier. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Well, coaches stress their defense being physical, they don't just mean the big guys. How about the guys on the outside, the cornerbacks? It's not just their job to patrol the airspace. They can get involved in the run game as well.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. Caught by London. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting them in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Algier will try to pick it up. And he's going to have a Falcons first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on 2nd and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
When a drive goes this long, you have to give a lot of credit to the guys up front, those big fellows, because the offensive line is putting something together that allows them to continue to control the ball. And I know a lot of people think they get fatigued on a long drive. Actually, a lot of times the reverse happens. They actually get energized because they're controlling the ball and they're the ones dictating to the defense.
And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Give him 5 on the screenplay, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
Boy, that one was well read defensively. And this is all about diagnosis as a safety and being decisive because he saw it setting up in front of him, able to knife through there and make the play.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. And looking to throw, Penix. Got a man and he hits him in stride. And the Falcons are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. And in a 2-score game, obviously every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
They'll set up to throw. And he's going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line. Logan Hall fighting through and dropping him for the sack.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
2nd and goal from the 6 this time. He'll look to throw. That ball is caught. It's London for the Atlanta touchdown. It's a 6-yard touchdown pass. And the Falcons have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle 3rd of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Now the extra point try forthcoming.
For the extra point.
And this is back to a 5-point game.
Makes the score Buccaneers.
That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it was finished off by a touchdown catch from Drake London. With the kickoff honors following the touchdown. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
The visitors' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes, and he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, very close, one-score game.
Yeah, and if I'm a defender, I'm actually chirping Chili on the other side of the ball, saying, hey, we picked off the last one. What you going to do about it now? So when you do throw the football, high percentage, but throw it with confidence. Because if there's any hesitancy at all, it could end up in enemy's hands again.
Ball on the 27. Here's 2nd and 6. The tight end in motion right. Here's a handoff to Urban. 78 yards rushing forward to the ball game now on 14 carries.
A gain of 9 yards. And a first down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
That one, 28 yards on the ground.
28 yards. That's another Buccaneers first down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
On the handoff, this is Urban. And this defense not ready for that one as he'll take this down inside the 25. 12 more yards there and another first down. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
That'll go for a gain of 7, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. Mayfield to throw it. And he can't hang on to it, and the screen never got started.
That incompletion certainly makes this upcoming 3rd down a little bit more crucial. They need to find the right play to convert here and maybe start to tamp down a little bit of the momentum the other side is starting to gain.
As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3. Mayfield down. And unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a first down. Instead, it's 4th. So decision time now, because a field goal keeps it a one-score game. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm looking at the down and distance, and that's where the issue comes in. It's not short enough that it's a no-brainer and you go for it. You have to analyze this one. To me, you take the field goal, take the points. I don't think you want to risk coming away with nothing.
A 34-yard attempt.
And his kick is good. And that'll push the lead up to 8. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
After the made field goal, here's McLaughlin back out there to kick it away. And able to get this out to the 25. So all eyes on the Falcons. Down by first and 10. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. They begin the drive with Robinson. And he'll get this up just shy of the 30.
Not a huge play, but I think they're more than happy with how it turned out. Don't be surprised to see them revisit that call because there was a lane there for more than just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They come up on a second down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down the wire. Dumps this one off to Algier.
Sometimes it's hard to figure, but you can live with incompletions in this situation. You can't live with these short gains that take time off the clock.
You know who loves it? This defense. They'll come to the line. This is 3rd and 3. They'll look to throw. That's caught by Pitts. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down.
First and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Back to throw. Now this will be caught by Mooney. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done.
Now you're right on the edge of field goal range. You've still got time, but get up to the line of scrimmage and get set.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. First and 10 here. Back to throw. There's Mooney with another catch. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game.
First down. First and 10 at the 22-yard line.
Here's first and 10. He's back to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a first and goal.
Here we go, first and goal. He'll look to throw. He's got his man London right side. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1.
It didn't check off every box, but the most important one. Got the clock stopped, getting out of bounds. They may be a little short of the first down, but I thought that was the key.
Now second down and a few inches. They'll try to throw again. Here's Penix. And this will be caught. Touchdown. So in the final minute here now, a 2-point conversion will tie the game.
The touchdown's massive, but now they've got to have 2 to possibly take this to overtime.
The late touchdown was only half the battle. Now they need the 2-point conversion to tie the ball game.
Line up for the 2-point conversion.
They'll try and throw with Penix. And he will get in. The 2-point conversion is good. And we may be on our way to overtime. Still time to work with on the clock, but they wanted the tie now, and they got it.
And I love their aggressiveness. Go ahead and get it done. Get the game tied. Now your team has the momentum, and you're staring across the field saying, let's see if you can match us.
This one, all we could have asked for. All tied, final minute as the kick's away here. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Bucs offense and veteran Chris Godwin getting set for this next drive. And he's had some kind of game. They made it a point to get him involved early, and it has paid giant rewards to this stage of the game. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Mayfield to throw. To the left side, he gets this one to Ibuka. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in the game. They'll come up now on 2nd down. Mayfield. Now he'll tuck this and run. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Give the sack to David Onyemata, the product of Nigeria by way of Canada.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
Four quarters not enough. We're all even, and to overtime we go.
How much fun is this for everyone who's watching the game? How much fun is it for us to see this one get an extra period to get settled?
So possession in overtime first goes to the Atlanta Falcons, and we are back underway. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now, but let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. Here's Penix. Setting up the screen. Here's Algier. Escapes the defender. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
And the Falcons, first down. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide, and these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now a toss left side for Algier. He was trying to turn the corner, but he will go nowhere. Now we'll pause for an injured player, and that's wide receiver Drake London, who's shaken up. Opening drive of overtime. Both teams will get a possession, barring a defensive score. Here's 2nd down. They'll get this into the hands of Hodge.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
Looking to throw, Penix. And that is incomplete. Well, I know you're toward the middle of the field here, but still, 4th down this distance, you got to punt it, right?
That's definitely the first instinct because you say, okay, let's just play some field position, make sure we don't lose the game here, turn it over in a key spot. But if you feel really good about your trigger guy, if you feel great about him, you might want to leave the ball in his hands and let him work his magic.
Here's Bradley Pena now. On for a very important punt here in overtime. Johnson on the return. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and they will take over 1st and 10. Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. Well, their defense did the job, got off the field without giving up any points, and now, Charles, all they need here is a field goal, and they get the victory.
Yeah, and this is the way I love overtime. I'm one of those really, really old school guys that like sudden death right from the beginning. Well, we've got it now because any points wins the game. On defense, get a safety, a pick 6, fumble return, you can win it as well. So I'm really looking forward to this series and see how both sides play it.
They'll start on the ground with Irving. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. This being their 2nd opportunity in overtime, 3rd overall drive, see if they can settle into a rhythm.
And that's what you're looking for. Get a few first downs, move the ball downfield, have some confidence, get yourself in a spot where you can at least kick a field goal to win it. But I tell you this, if I'm the play caller, I'm looking at that part of my sheet that says playmakers. Get the ball in their hands, critical situation, now's their time. That's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball, the ones in the huddle doing the chirping, right now I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
They'll try and run here with Irving. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
3rd and 2, and they ran the ball for only 1 yard, and everybody's going to scream at the offense. But let's give a lot of credit to the defense on that play. Defensive front out leveraged the offensive line. They got more people to the football. Yeah, they won that battle in a big way, and they're forcing a big decision now by the guys on offense.
Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. On the return, here's Agnew. A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back. And it will be Falcon football. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. This is a pretty rare situation here, Charles. You get in overtime, neither team coming through with even a field goal on their first drive. So now, sudden death with the time remaining. Next score wins.
And now I would say that going at it might be a little bit easier for both teams now because they've eased into overtime. That first series, boy, everything on the line then. Now you've seen what a defense is throwing at you. You can make some adjustments, and all you need is 3 points to win it.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Then he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom, quick, and what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Here's Algier again on 2nd down. And slow going there as they'll only get a yard, maybe, up to the 41.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays, didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. To the air, Penix. And he is caught. Pushing through tacklers at the 30. Well, he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A gain of 32 that time.
Just straight money right there. The biggest drive of the game, a chance to win it in overtime. If they've been saving that play, they sure pulled it out at the right time. A huge turn of events there.
On 1st and 10, it's Algier. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
That's another Falcons first down. First and goal at the 8-yard line.
That was excellent from start to finish, from the blocking to the running, just well executed.
And now let's look ahead, because after that, how about a little play action, maybe a little bootleg, and get the quarterback out on the corner and give him a little run pass option.
And they're right down here looking for 6. Now the Buccaneers go ahead and take another timeout. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. And now it all rests on the right foot of their kicker. This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. And the Falcons are going to win the game. That was an excellent come-from-behind victory, Charles, especially there in the 4th quarter. Both offense and defense were clicking. They're going to feel good about this one.
Boy, are they ever, because the deficit they faced certainly wasn't small. They obviously did not give up on that one, and in the end, how about that come-from-behind victory? They'll cherish this one for a while.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Falcons here as we say so long from Atlanta.